possible angle for this setup for you. And I'm just going to open the iPad chat. Okay, good. We are running. I'm going to sit in my chair. Right, we're doing some hand-drawn classic traditional animation. You've all seen me busting out walk cycles on my Mute Midori, how are you doing? On my computer many times. Oh, gotta be careful, don't want to jog the camera. But today I'm going to be busting out a walk cycle for you on paper. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I can see we got Mute Midori in the chat. We've got Ralph, Den, and Didi. Runa, how are you? Okay, right, let's get going. I'm live on my phone. Hopefully the quality will... Oh dear, it looks like we've frozen already. No, we haven't. Hopefully the quality will sustain itself. Right, so very quickly, hole punch. You don't need this. This is Xerox paper, okay? It's not animation paper. A3 Xerox paper, similar to 15 field, a little bit thicker. Hole punch. This is not a proper animation peg bar because I'm in New Zealand, but we can just get a three-way hole punch, so 3 round circles. So not animation style, but you can still do it on there. Light box, very cheap. The light underneath this thing is broken, so I've got this desk lamp here. I can just clip on. Hopefully you can see the clip on. I just turn it over like that, clip it the other way, right? And I can see through when I want to, but I'm not going to really be using that today because real animators don't really use that until the in-betweening process. So that's a very quick demonstration about the setup, col erase pencil, putty eraser, Oxford Schoolboy Helix pencil sharpener. Max Power, how are you doing? Right, let's get started. I'm doing my Great One character, my tiger, gonna figure out his walk. So I'm gonna start with a contact position, right? So very side of the pencil, very faint, right? I'm gonna think about the wideness of his gait. Not really, you know, his head is gonna be down. Moody guy. This kind of thing. Right. I'll figure out where his pelvis is. So all the stuff you guys learn in real animator training, same stuff, right? I'll figure out his chest. Of course, the character is a you know, it's the first time I'm really experimenting with his movements, so got to think a bit more. So I'm trying to find that nice shape for his torso. This is the first real pose. So his legs gonna be, he's got big feet like this, and his other leg is gonna be something like this. These are the main poses. That's what I'm gonna be doing today, is the main poses. Well, somebody's asked a question about how many this 3-4 horror characters look. In this day and age with cutout and non-drawn real animation, you can bang that out in a day or two. But I mean, if you're talking about like the stuff I'm doing now, it's going to take a little bit longer. I'm going to maybe see if there's time to do questions at the end, but for now I'm going to be really just demoing this traditional process, treating it almost like I do with the computer live streams. The camera is not great, it's my phone, the lighting could be better, so That's why I like to use the computer, but I see that there's a lot of interest, people liking watching me doing the traditional stuff. Right, so I'm angling his head down here, right? I'm looking for a good silhouette. I'm not, what I'm doing here is I'm looking, searching if you like, for a good silhouette, because this is going to be the driving um, pose of his walk cycle, right? It's going to determine his attitude. So once I've got that down, the rest is pretty much done for me. I'm liking that, right? So I've made no thumbnails for this, but I found my pose. Okay, let's get another piece of paper. Let's do the other contact. Right, so this is just like we do contact to contact. We're going to draw it all in afterwards, right? So I can just about see through there. Maybe you guys can't, but that's so. I've even put some padding under here to stop the backlight from the window. I could draw the curtain, but even then, I like the padding. It helps me get a smoother, softer line when I use the side of my pencil. Right, so I'm going to use this. And I'm going to flip the paper. Let's see how that flipping's looking like on the pad, on the camera. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Right, sometimes the flipping, depending where the camera is a little odd. So then we're gonna change his leg positions. So I'm just gonna kind of roughly trace where those are, but it's going to be the other leg in front now, right, like this. It's going to be this leg behind. You see how faint? This stops people from thinking about the eraser, right? This side of the pencil thing. Now the pelvic box. Gonna think about his pelvic box. Gonna think about, now I've found a nice shape for the body from the previous pose, so it's gonna get a lot faster. Now I'm gonna tie this up with this leg here, like that. Dee Dee is online. Dee Dee, look how loose I'm being, right? I saw you posting in the group, talking about how you stayed loose. Well done. See, look how loose I'm being at this stage, right? Maybe this will open some of your eyes to the way I work digitally. Because when I work digitally, the drawings seem a lot more finished, but I'm not able to make these side of the pencil, as I said, like, however, I can work perfectly on machine. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing, but for me, I still feel more powerful when I animate on paper. Now I'm getting the back, I'm really looking at the back, the chest, the stomach, this part of the leg, really trying to get these elements. It's all about character, this walk cycle. This is kind of advanced version, but we're doing the same stuff, what you learn in the training library. So his legs here, I'm trying to get this down as fast as possible. And his other foot is out here like that. Hopefully you can see what I've got. Caden, how you doing? Where can I buy such a table with such a thing for holding sheets of paper? You can make the table, but if you look around on eBay or, animators selling their boards, or, there's even tutorials on how to make one. To be honest, I got this second hand of some animator in New Zealand, because I can't live without an animation desk. All right, so those are my main two poses of the contacts. Now, what I'm going to do before I start doing other poses is I'm going to start. This is what we call extremes, right? These are my two extremes. I'm going to draw these in a little bit. You see, the second pose is so much more powerful than the first. If I wasn't demoing, I would go back and rejig this pose. Maybe I can do it while drawing in. Right, so I'm going to take I'm changing my grip now from that to this. I'm going to take what I got from the other one and try to rejig this. And so let me get his head. Again, this is how tight I'm being with the drawing. I'm not interested in really trying to get him down, trying to get too much of him in, right? I'm just making sure I just have enough, right? So his jaw will be like this. Then we've got his side bits of his head like this. And his beard will come like this. Still not too confident with this side view. He's early on. Tell you what, I've got a nice bit of animation. Some of you saw that I did working out his head turn here. I'm gonna look at the profile of this just to help me with my model of his head a little bit, right? But I don't want to get caught up in the drawing, right? It's more to just refresh me. He's my design. I've gone through him many times, but I want to make sure that I get his shapes right, right? Probably made his beard just a little bit too long there, right? Muzzle, right? Like that. So I'm just, again, it looks like I'm being precious, but I'm really not. Please don't think I'm being precious. I'm just making sure I take this down for the sake of the live stream, because I want to get his profile model right throughout the demo that I'm going to do for you, right? So that's enough, right? I feel kind of confident with that. Okay, let's put that away. Right, so that is his side view. So his neck is gonna be down here like this. Now a little bit of anatomy. Let's work out this guy's anatomy. So his trapezius is gonna come way back down to this portion, but it's gonna come round over to the side of the neck here like this. So I'm not really gonna be drawing his clothes just yet, because I'm gonna speed up on the other poses, but I really want to make sure that his anatomy is correct, right? So now we've got his shoulder and his scapula will be coming back a bit, right? So we got the chest out here like this, and the rib cage will be coming under here, with his stomach going over here. His pelvis will be here, coming around there like that. So this is why we call these drawings extreme, and how we work pose to pose, right? So then coming from his scapula will be his bicep. His tricep will be high up here. Gonna go in there to get the tricep tendon out there like that. So this is where his hand is gonna be. Now, although I'm gonna relax his hands a little bit. I'm not gonna make them fists, because even though he's quite an aggressive character, I feel it makes him more threatening with relaxed hands. So again, thinking about the character. Now the chest muscle will come in under here like this. His abs will shoot through there. So we have his other arm, which will be like this. Now I'm gonna play with the dimensions of his hand. that there. That's enough. That's enough, right? Now his butt's going to be sticking out and his leg muscles are going to come here, like this. With his calf down like that. Dylan Royer, how are you doing? Can you be loose in anime style? Of course. Of course. You should be always loose. Being loose is actually faster, right? Because this is, this is insurance for me, right? The thing is once you are secure in your drawing, right? And when I mean secure, it's like you're not worried about openly saying you feel you can draw anything without effort. It's not a problem for you, right? Maybe you might struggle a little bit more on something than the other, but at the end of the day, it'll still look good, but it's just not you at your best, That's when you start to just be loose like this, is to be fast, right? Because I'm solving all my brain, I'm building all my brain cells now, right? And I'm gonna solve all the problems. See, now what I'm doing here with this, before I move any further, I'm not gonna think about drawing the the details in, because what makes this appealing is the shape harmony of the outline. So I'm even gonna sacrifice model for the moment, just to get this outline shape looking great, right? Because he's got a cloak and he's got everything. He's got cloaks on him. We're just gonna do the cycle. If there's time, we're gonna add other stuff. But right now, for me, this is where it's at. Getting strong, flowing silhouette, right? Like that. I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna move on to the other extreme. Then we're gonna block out his cycle. All right. So this is gonna be a whole lot faster now, because I've solved a lot of the issues. So that was the ugly drawing. That was the working. Really, the first drawing is often gotta be redone, because a lot of this stuff is a lot of that's working stuff out. Now I've kind of worked out his profile shapes, so I'm gonna speed myself up a lot more, right? So the face, again, I never, again, this is why I despise the 2D puppet cutout style. Like, I see even online, I'm not going to mention any names, some pretty decent hand-drawn animators were knocking stuff out, but they're kind of like using the head as with cutout, as if the head is just something to be just cut out while the body moves organically. And it completely kills the animation, looking at this flowing body with this just obviously sliding software digital 2D puppet sliding cutout head, so I always like to add some variation. Right, so now we get to put in some interesting anatomy here. The scapula will be coming around here, so trapezius is coming over there, and we can really throw in the, coming in here with the latissimus dorsi, the back of the scapula would be more there, but we play with the deltoid, and then the rear, the bicep and the rear tricep, which moves into the tricep tendon. Again, I can use a bit of foreshortening on that wrist there, right? So then here I'm gonna play with his chest, buff that shape out. Big, heavy guy, right? Latissimus dorsi coming from under the arm, round to the back of the pelvis, right? just like that, right? We keep flipping, and that's how you see no light box is being used, but that's how we sort out the volumes, right? There'll be, even at this stage, I'm not caring about volume, but the volume is kind of holding together, right? Because we've developed brain cells that kind of enable us. Let's just have his fingers down and his thumb this way. So we'll be opening out his fingers just like this. Right. So we have his shoulder here. Now we have the pelvis, right? Just coming here. Can work with the butt. Just work that big heavy arm. I'm just moving as fast as I can. I'm not really concerned with getting the drawing to look so accurately like him, putting his cloak, putting his clothing on just yet, right? That's all to be done later. It's a layering process, but we don't draw with Photoshop layers, right? We harden our pencil, we dab back with the putty eraser if we have to, right? So let's have his toes here like this, opened out slightly to keep that animal kind of, they do that with their front paws, but I just think it'll look nice. Right, let's have that. Okay, so you see this pose got down a lot quicker, and it's gonna get quicker now, right? Because these are the two extremes. Again, I'm gonna consolidate the outline shape, right? That's what I'm consolidating. It's gonna change, but as long as we keep our shapes appealing, chiseling, carving with the line, that's what we want, right? Just like that. So we have our two poses here. Not caring about the volume of the head as of yet. Those are finishing details. Right, now we're going to put in our passing position, right? Our passing position. I still do not really need the light box here. I can see where the bottom of his feet are. Just draw a line there like that. So, passing position, his legs are going to be still kind of bent. He's a heavy guy. So this is like I would call this a keyframe between the extremes, right? I know I teach it a little bit differently in real animator training, but that's to kind of school you and prep you for getting to this level, right? Where you can decide what your own extremes, keys, and breakdowns are. Right, so I'm dragging this back toe to keep it lazy. I'm angling his knee down to keep him lazy, keeping him weighted to the ground. These are the things I'm thinking about, right? Pelvis is gonna be more or less in the same position. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can really see that. I'll do it with my other hand. Hang on. Maybe you can see this. Okay. When I do it with this hand, it's to keep it moving, but perhaps the camera's not showing you that, right? So the passing position, he's gonna straighten his body up. And he's gonna rise up, but not too much. We don't want him. I'm gonna keep his head angled down. See how I deal with this shape, right? So we've got this one. And I'm not going to reuse this passing position for my other passing position, right? You can do that. Many legitimate animators do that. Nothing wrong with that. I like to keep it fresh. I like to have subtle variations, right? So we have this. It's the body shape. It's the leg shape. It's the other leg shape. So we're building that. Now the hand, right? Or the arm, rather. So I'm going to straighten his arm to give some follow-through, overlap, and drag. Look at the spacing of the arm. Okay, this is all halfway in between the legs, right? The spacing of the arm is very much favoring this rear arm position just to put some drag. And if anything, I might turn his arm a little bit out towards us. You'll see that when I draw in a little bit. I'm not extending his arm completely. We don't want to do that. We don't want to make it look like he's putting any effort into this relaxed walk. So maybe that's a bit extreme, that drag. So we're going to tone that down a little bit. And this one is going to be coming here. So we're going to drag a little bit on the pass position of this arm like this. We're going to, yeah, we're going to, it would be bent, so yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. We'll come back to that drawing in a minute, right? This is not even animation. Look, A3 is almost like 15 field, right? I haven't got animation paper, and I'm doing this deliberately to share with you guys. You don't need to spend that much money. This is cheap photocopy paper. You know, thousands of sheets for a couple, you know, for $10, right? Or something like that. Right, so that's the first pass position. So now I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna look for the next pass position. Then we're gonna draw in those, right? We're just gonna build this up. Hey, Cameron Black, Charlene Giles, Silver Sun, Zentron, how are you all doing? And the adorable Kitchen Cat. Right, so again, I'm not going to use that other pass position. I'm just going to, I'm going to create a fresh one because I like to look at anatomy. I like to look at the way the body changes, right? So again, here, he's going to be kind of bent on the pass position. It's going to be halfway through like that. Then this leg is going to drag down off the back like this. Right. So we figured that out. All the stuff, real animators, people who are studying from Real Animator Training Library, right? You remember this box here, this? Doesn't it look familiar, right? All of those basics, exercises you've been going through just to kind of show you where it all leads. We got Dee Dee in the chat. We got Charlene Giles. People who have been working on these cycles. Just to show you where you're headed, where it's all going to take you, right? Where all of that gold that you're learning, where it's going to take you. Right, so now I'm going to think about the arc of the shoulder. So in this case, I'm switching to a ball for the shoulder hair to arc, you know, to give him a nice shoulder roll. Big, meaty, muscular, heavy guy, right? So this is why I don't like to use the other pass position. We're gonna turn his hand up here like that. Maybe we could push it a little bit more, or maybe not, right? The whole point of this is to play, so this hand is gonna drag back here like that. Okay, let's check that in relation to the previous pass position. So there's similarities, but variations. The heads are kind of in the same place. You see, no light box, but we're getting things where they need to be, right? Right, so what I'm going to do, let me just quickly check that. Right, so we're fast building this now, from contact to fast position to contact to fast position. Right. Hopefully you guys are seeing that on the screen. All right, so now I'm going to start drawing in these fast positions to the same level that the contacts are drawn in. So not necessarily fully, but enough to get moving, right? We're going to put this one away for the time being. All right. And of course, this is all helping me. The reason I'm doing this is I'm going to be animating a dialogue scene with this character. The flipping, okay, flipping. This is flipping, right? You flip from one, you flip to the other, then you pull that back, right? That's how to see it in sequence. Otherwise, you just flip. Pegs are at the bottom, which allow you to do this. This is called rolling, right? Where you roll the paper to see the action going. Thank you, Charlene, for asking me about that. Right, let me now go in here and think about the shape of the body here, the back muscle. So I'm going between these two. So when you see me working in the software, you see me constantly, some of you can hear me tapping the bottom of my screen, because I'm doing this. I'm constantly flipping to see the motion constantly changing, right? Right, so we're gonna throw in his arm here. You see, I'm gonna be a lot simpler with my anatomy on these ones. As I said, it's all gonna start speeding up as I move further along, right? Because I've figured out his shapes. This triangle represents his radius and his ulna and the insertion of the wrist, right? Then I can put his knuckles in there, right? I don't want to do too much with his hand, right? Just keep it lazy like that. I don't want to do too much with it. Up with the chest, here like this. I try to avoid using the sharpness of my pencil at the moment. Keep it blunt. Right. Pelvis is balancing on this leg, so it's going to be up here like this. This gonna come around with the knee here, the calf. I'm gonna really weight this foot. Gonna push down, curve this line to feel the weight of his foot on there like that. Right? Man, I love that sound. That's what the sound of animation was to me. One of the reasons why I loved working remotely is animation studios didn't feel like animation studios anymore when I started going in and working, because they were all computer desks and cubicles, and we didn't listen to that. Right? Honestly, I thought the whole building was gonna fly when I used to work back in the day. So much flapping of the paper, right? No more, no more. Well, AMB is here and I'm trying to change all of that, right? So anyway, right, so let's, this, I need to watch out for the shape of his butt. Maybe up here like this. Let's have the wrist come in here like that. Let's extend these fingers, drag the fingers just a little bit, and the thumb out here. Don't want to spend too much time on that. Okay, right, let's get the head going. right? So he's got this mountainous head. We're changing his eye line slightly, not too much. His eye will fit in here, his brow. So once you understand the structure of the character, that's how we keep form and volume. Again, in the advanced archive of the Real Animator Training Library, we talk exclusively about this in the, I think it was 11 part advanced quadruped walk cycle that we do, where we have a kind of bulldog doing a strut, and we figure out how to just deal with the silhouette of his head and then fit all the bits inside. Right, that's enough of his head there. That feels more like the model than the other two. You see how I'm getting more? I can already feel the power in his torso. Just watch these arms as they drag down before he moves into his next step. Alright, I'm going to take this one here, and then we're going to put this, do this one here. Right, so again, let's deal with the neck, the trapezius, the back anatomy. Right. Let's see, what am I doing? We're gonna go from here. Yeah, that's the, we want to go from this one to this one. That's where the, what am I doing here? This is coming, okay, I put the wrong one there. We're going from this, going from this to this. Okay. Thinking, what's going on with his back, right? All right. Now I'm gonna watch what's happening with the guy's back muscles. That's where we manage him, right? Chest. Let's lift his chest. Let's work the shoulder roll, right? So scapula will be up here like this. Very important to get that scapula so we can get a nice feel to the shoulder roll. The tricep tendon, forearm. You see how all these various sections of anatomy are broken into shapes, which is why I always stress the importance of anatomy. Makes your life incredibly easy, even when you're dealing with these little shapes. So you see how we're really delaying that arm. I feel I may be delaying it too much for a passing position, but I'm gonna be planning. There's gonna be some interesting breakdowns going on, so I'm not worried at all, right? With that, let's just bring that back. Now this arm would be coming more down here like this. All right. With a little bit of drag, not too much on those fingers. Like that. Possibly need more hand. Getting a little bit short. That's better, right? Legs. So buttocks gonna be here like this. We're going to bring the muscle here, the knee, like this. Gonna kind of straighten that. and bring the calf muscle, bit of squash and stretch in the calf muscle going along there, right? See that moving, how that moves. Drag the foot back, like that. Nice bit of drag on the foot. Again, I'm not too worried about, oh, am I getting the right size? I'm exaggerating at the moment. If I have to bring it down, I'll bring it down. But for heaven's sake, don't be making your daming your imagination at this stage by worrying about the solidity and the volume, right? That's for people who are working in sweatshops that need to get so much out by the day and that the quality doesn't really matter, right? Don't be worried about that. Don't start with such low standards when you want to animate. Right? So here we're gonna come around here like that. Everybody wants that diet drawing thing. This is drawn animation, right? Diet drawings are the easy part of it, right? That's the entry level. You wanna show off your drawing, do illustration or something like that. No, you're only gonna see it for 1/12 or 1/24 of a frame, right? That's entry level. Don't be wasting time on trying to be all tight with the drawing at this stage, right? Get your action interesting. Get something nice going on. Get some nice movement in there, right? And do the entry level stuff later. What do you do when you don't know how to do something? You defect to what you do know how to do, right? That's what most people trying to do hand-drawn frame-by-frame animation, they talk about the drawing, right? Because they don't know how to animate, right? So make sure you understand animation law. So this, I haven't put his tail in there. We can do that afterwards. It's all right. So you see the first drawing looking kind of weak now after where we've started playing a bit with the others. It will still do. So here we can see we've got our passing positions coming in here like that. I don't know if I can how this will look if I hold this here and I just flip it. It's too early to flip, but I'm just seeing what that looks like on stream. Right. Just checking the stream. Yeah, you can just about see it. Okay, not bad. Right, now let's start thinking about our other poses before we start taking this any further. Let's start let's work on the down now, right? Let's work on the down, which is a breakdown. I called it a key in the basics archive because I wanted to get you used to the hierarchy system. You can still call it a key if you like. I call the pass position an extreme, but really it's the midway between the two extremes is a key. All right, so now this is where we make the animation a little bit exciting. So halfway, remember real animator training people, halfway between the pass and the down and the contact is where my down foot is gonna be, right? And this guy is gonna be coming up, his leg completely caving in like that here. So that's the shape. Notice how I'm dealing with it all as lines like this, right? Pelvis is gonna come right down, right? So this is where we have our pelvic tilt, right? Now, I'm not gonna be doing it as exaggerated as what I show it to you in the training archive basics, because that's to get you to understand it, right? Now I've got to think about my character's model and my character's drawing, right? So the first thing I'm doing is I'm really weighting his legs. That's where my brain is, my subconscious rather, right? My brain is just explaining to you and making me aware, but it's where my subconscious is focusing its energy on. Getting a nice, don't know if you can see that, it's getting a nice heavy down. Then we're gonna bring his body further down, right? Gonna bring that, use the back, right? The back, bring this here. Now, rather than in-betweening here, we're gonna swing his arm further back. But I don't want to extend it and keep it loose. I'm going to keep him kind of tight, sort of like a big, heavy, tight walk like that. So again, we're favoring on that out pose. I'm going to bust his chest out a little bit on the down. His rib cage here, like that. Gonna have his head looking up. My subconscious is telling me to draw this one now rather than do the other down. So I'm going to, but first I'm gonna extend his arm out even more, right? Like that. How does that look? Then we're gonna go into the next. Let me just put these down. Yeah. So he's going down into it. Okay. And down back into that. Right. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's, before we move on to that one, I'm just gonna focus purely. Let's see, I need my passing position here. Let's go and draw this guy in. Right. So his head. You see how it's all about his shapes, right? And I'm getting a lot happier with his profile, right, as I'm going along. So you see, I'm letting my brain work out the problems. I'm not trying to force it. Power versus force, all right? I'm not trying to force myself to get his head right, right? Every time I'll get another go. I'll get another go, right? I'm committing, but I'm not committing when I'm doing this kind of animation, right? Working loose, you're committing, but you're not committing, right? So here, yeah, I like that. That's good. So let's get his trap, his deltoid. I'm angling the deltoid like this, right where the middle deltoid is. That helps me put the tricep and the bicep in place, right? With the tricep tendon back here, like that. Right? Let's have his arm back here like that. See, the drawings are getting much nicer now as I'm finding the shapes, right? So when I go in to put the clothing and the model on top, I'm really gonna be able to look at this guy. So let's get the pelvis. Pelvis will be still kind of angled up here, but it's gonna be low. He's going to be wearing stuff hiding all of that, right? But when I do a walk, I want to feel, particularly with a big, heavy, brutish character like this. Now I'm going to really push that weight on that leg. I want to feel the anatomy, right? So we've got this. The feet are dragging. I don't care if the foot's a little bit big, right? As I said before, I'm not going to rein in my imagination at this stage. The imagination is the key to the kingdom, right? That's where this is all coming from. Don't you dare nip it in the bud early on, right? Otherwise, you're going to regret it. You're going to end up with stiff, insecure, stifled work. All right, that's where that's going. So we got that, folks, there like that. So now we're going to do the next down, right? Before we do the up, we're going to do the next down. It's going to lead me into the passing position. I'm running out of paper here. Unfortunately, this is paper, I punched it wrong, so some of the paper is going to be a little bit off when I try to flip it, which is a shame. So let's go in and do the passing position. It'll be here like this. Not the passing position, the down. So the down is going to be halfway between, there's no light box, right? Now maybe some of you can understand why I say no light box, right? Even if you're in real animator training, you still say, I still can't bring myself to not use the light box. The minute you understand and you turn that darn thing off and you start doing things this way, you will have learned, right? So this comes down here. It's almost like a quadruped. You can see the design thinking of his feet, right? Why they're so big even though he's more humanoid. So again, this is going to be coming down, and I'm not using the other down. I like to search for fresh anatomical cues. As I do it, maybe there'll be a variation in the angle of the head. This head needs to come down. I'm just going to see what happened with this other head. How far down did I bring it? Yeah. I'll bring it down to about here. Straighten it up. So here we're going to really enjoy that back anatomy. Yes. This arm, going to bend that up. This is like the swinging pendulum, but then, you know, maybe it'll be going like, some of you know that weighted pendulum. So the arms, again, this is why I have you doing pendulum drills and bouncing ball drills in the basic archive of the training library, because it all has to go somewhere, right? So we have this and this leg. And here like this. Come in and down like that. Right. Just checking up with the chat. You're all quiet. You're all watching. Good. That's what we like. Right. So let's go in here and work these legs. So the pelvis will be down on this side. All right. And we've got knee, patella, going here, the calf, here like this, the heel. See, this one I might change from the other one by having his foot already off the ground, which I didn't have on the other one, right? Depends. I'm not reining in my imagination. The butt comes down here. Bring that up slightly. First use of the eraser, right? Bring that up. You don't want to use the eraser too much. We want to carve out of the lines to find our form. Right, so then here we're gonna tense the knee. Gonna bring that, really flatten that. Think about the calcaneus. Really flatten that. Right, latissimus dorsi. Right, hair, trapezius, turning, little bit, not too much, gonna keep it in profile. Scapula, relaxed. The deltoid, tricep. All of these shapes you learn in the 360 turnaround in the advanced archive, how to simplify these muscles. These are the essential muscles that you learn how to turn them around from various angles. Which is another reason why I've kind of held off doing the anatomy archive, because doing the muscles of the anatomy archive, because part of me thinks that while it would be great for self-study to know all the muscles and names of the muscles the way I do, and the way that I show you how to do it with the bones, those are the only real muscles you actually really need to learn when you're animating. It's always, for me, knowledge is power, but the learning never stops. So my reasoning behind the delaying of doing an anatomy muscle archive is I've showed you how to extensively learn anatomy with the skeleton. You can do that with the muscles, sure, but I've shown you the essential muscles in that 360 turnaround video. How to simplify them. As a 15-part live stream extravaganza, I should imagine, right? So let's turn his head out a little bit, right? Maybe this pose is feeling a little exaggerated too much, but I'm thinking of turning his head to the side, like the standard walk. Bit of the standard walk going on here, those of you who understand the standard walk from the training library. All right, so what have we got at the moment? We've got the down, we've got this. So let me try to flip it. What I like to do when I flip is roll it around like that. It creates a nice fan on the paper, right? And then you're able to flip it. Not sure if you guys are seeing that. Not quite getting the last one in there. Then you do it on the other side and see it from the top. All right, well, enough of that. Let's go and do the up. Let's go. And so one of these, unfortunately, one of these is not going to be on the right. because this is the last sheet that I punched. So the hole punch is going to be a little bit off. Right, so now I'm going to go from the fast position, all right, to the next contact. How are we doing for time? How long has this stream been going on for? Some of you guys in the chat, let me know because I can't see my phone, all right? So I'm going to be going here like this. I'll appreciate that. Charlene, Patch Tunes, Kitty Cat, Zentron, Cameron, let me know how long this stream's been going on for. 60 minutes, so 1 hour. Exactly 1 hour. Awesome, thank you, Ordur, or Adru. Please forgive me if I have not pronounced your name right. So we're doing good. We're almost down with the blocking 1 hour in, right? Right, so now I want to do what's called the up. Now many of you know that my up is very different to the way those of you who study survival kit Richard Williams. I don't lift the pelvis right up and have him standing on tiptoes, right? That certainly wouldn't suit this walk, and neither would Richard Williams. You know, he's teaching you basics, so I'm not having a dig at him, but I believe my view of teaching basics is to stay true to the original gait and not teach a basic cartoon walk, right? Whereas he teaches you the basic cartoon walk. So I'm gonna keep the leg bent, right? So not much up there. The reason I call it the up is because we swing the highest point of the foot, right? The foot arch before it comes down. But I want him to drag his foot out here, right? I don't want to like delay and in between it. I want to hit this pose, right? So it would need more breaking down because I'm more interested in lingering on this pose, right? Rather than trying to just in between it and have it looking nice when I flip it. Because that's, you know, this is a walk that I'm working out for my character. I'm trying to get it into personality. Right, so then even on here, I'm gonna, rather than raise, I'm gonna bring his head even further back, right? So maybe a little bit more of an up, right? Here, let me look at the arc, right? That's where it comes down, so yeah. So I'm gonna keep his head like, let me just flip this. This is super important. I don't want to use the light box. I want to see the change, right? Let me change my grip very slightly. I want to see that change. All right, gonna bring the ear back, maybe about there. So I'm changed just very like, because this is almost like an in-between this up for certain points. So I'm being a little bit more careful early on here, just at this stage. Right. Of course, I'm not going to lock it down and have his volumes perfect in this demo. That's got to be private time, tightening everything up. Right, so here, need to think about the pelvis and the leg. This leg is fairly simple, coming back on itself. This is where we have the big change up. A deltoid swing over. The hands. The back. So we need to really think about what's going on with his back. Other arm, where would the other arm be? Maybe we wouldn't really see it. Right, we'll put it there for now. And we're gonna have his foot come up like this. Gonna really linger on that before he puts his foot down. Give him that real kind of hard man feel. All right, let's watch that. You're trying to animate a quadruped walk cycle. It's not going too well. All right, take time out to understand the difference between the anatomy of the back legs and the front arms, right? Before you even start animating. That's looking good, right? That's gonna be a nice, yeah, linger up there to the top of the head. How's that looking when I flip it to you guys? You can just about see it, right? Unfortunately, the camera really, I still need to figure out how to get a better camera to get these things looking good, as good as I can. But we'll work out in the meantime. Thanks for putting up with this camera angle. We'll get something. You can see it building. All right. Why did I knock that back? Because I wanna really build some brain cells with this guy's body there, right? We're gonna switch over to drawing him on model next, right? But for the moment, we're gonna look at his scapula, his deltoid. Again, I use the middle delt, the lateral delt, I angle down like that, and I build the triceps and the biceps around it, right? And the tricep tendon comes in here. And then we have the forearm. You know, you can come in here and put the lateral tricep if you like. Then we start building more muscles. So I'm gonna change the shape of the direction of these fingers as he's dragging them there like that. Good, right? The chest, and come here like that. We're gonna shave some of that off that guy. Butt, gonna come here. We have the calf muscle, calcaneus, foot there. Good stuff. Right, so now let's rein this foot in a bit. I wanted it up. Now I'm reining my imagination in a bit, right? I wanted it up. It's a little too high, a little too exaggerated for what the character is. So we're going to bring it here, right? Bring it back. Like that. Boom. Good. Knock that away. Let's have a little bit of his elbow to give him some indication that that other arm exists, right? let's work the head now. Let's bring this head up. It's all gonna be, we're all gonna pay a little bit more attention to the head after we do the next up, where you're gonna watch me just draw, right? And almost animate in a straight ahead manner, which I won't necessarily do if I was not doing a demo, right? But I'm doing a demo, right? So I just think it'll be faster for you guys to see that, right? All right, that's that one. Thank you, Commodore. How you doing, Commodore 64? Always calling that. Good to see you. So we have this, looking good, right? Nice variation of my standard walk. What we're doing here. All right. Let's get this. Put this here. We're gonna close the cycle. Unfortunately, my registration has run out, so I'm gonna see this goes here, which is no good. This goes here. Let me see if I can find a piece of paper that registers a little bit better. How did this one do? That's the problem when you rush your hole punching, right? It's better to take that. Okay, that's not too bad. You see, I can't really flip the paper for you because it's not going to line up. But, you know, that'll teach me to, when you got your own hole punch, you really should register your drawings a bit, spend a bit more time registering. But then if you're going to shoot them, it doesn't matter, right? I'm not really going to shoot this. This is just social media content. And otherwise, if I weren't doing it on... you can hear the beep, the smoke detector. I can't even hear it. To be honest, I kind of like it. All right, let's do the up. So this is gonna move here like this. Then we're gonna delay the step like this, right? This is gonna come higher. So we built some brain cells when we did the last up. So the head is gonna come back on itself. Up here. How are we doing for time, guys? Let me know what the time is. How long's the stream been going on for? All right. So the arm is gonna be here. This arm is gonna swing through. We'll figure that out later. Right. Bum, bum, bum. It says the stream started 1 hour ago for me. Awesome. Thank you. So it was 60 minutes, maybe about 15, 20 minutes ago. That's what I'm asking. I'm guessing around about the hour and a half mark. All right, let me start putting this in. So let's get the pelvis. First and foremost, I want to tackle the legs. I think the best way to do it is to tackle the rear leg first. Slightly changing my grip here. Yeah. So his butt would be here, coming up like that. Kind of molding this guy into place like clay, right? let's work the scapula, the deltoid out. The arc of the deltoid. We're changing that middle there. So tricep sits there, bicep sits here, tricep tendon in the middle here. Shape back here like that. Boom, we got it. Let's consolidate that. Good. Let's drag the arm. Just deal with the upper fingers and then open up the lower ones as we go to the hand. Have the chest. Chest would be more like this. Clavicle here. Rib cage here. Like that. Okay, we're finding him out as we go. So let's consolidate the foot a little bit more. Good. 2, 3, 4. Let's have back leg like this. Right. You may want to bring the front arm in with his other hand here like this. Change the swing a little bit. Right. Now the head. With the up, the head, a little bit tricky because that head's not so... Let's get the eye line sorted. Let's get the eyebrow. Then we can deal with the zygomatic cheek and the jaw to bring it in place. You see all the stuff I share with you, how heavily I rely on that stuff to enable me to get the head construction right. Well, I'm always pushing you to understand that. Right, there we go. That's that. Alright, tech filmation He-Man. I love the use of limited animation, great can cycles, movement, it fits. I just got the 3-page scroll. Okay. Right, okay. Awesome, thank you, Studio Anima. Right, so here we have all of the positions of the walk cycle roughed up, right? So how many drawings? We're going to go quickly and put it on top. How many drawings have we got at the moment? How many drawings have we done? Unfortunately, not all of this is going to add up. There we go. So we have got... This is how I block out, right? So we got the contact, the down, the pass, the up, the contact, right? The down, pass, and the up. Back to the contact again. All right. Not much attitude in the poses. Oh, everybody, it's my favorite troll, Juan Camilo. How are you, sir? Very good to have you online. He always has something nasty to say about my drawings. Everybody give him a huge hug. Juan Camilo, I'm so happy to have you on my screen, my friend. Everybody give him a huge hug. He always comes with so much attitude of himself, of his own. Always coming to try and every time I post a video, you can count on Juan to leave a trollish remark. I love you, Juan. Please give me more. I love being therapy for you. Let it all out, my friend. Tell me how much you think my work is shit and how much you hate me. if it makes you feel better, if it puts a smile on your face, you know, and the world's a better place, filled with joy, peace, and love, then I've served my purpose. Right, okay. Let's start drawing in this guy. Um, I'm gonna start putting in uh, his facial features. So we're gonna put in his eyes like that, and his head. There we go. And the nose is gonna sit there like that. Then we're gonna put his mouth here with his lower lip like this, right? Here we go. And the side here like this. I love it. I love sharing my work online. And believe it or not, I've come to love the haters. Because yesterday I posted this you saw me flipping the head of the tiger, right? And it happened almost consecutively, and it really puts things in perspective. So anybody who wants to learn how to deal with their naysayers and their haters, right? I posted on social media is different for at different places. You got different people watching you. So on LinkedIn, I posted one of my pieces of animation, right, which was the head turn of the Great One on paper. And I got one of the world's best animators, Ken Duncan, right? Ken Duncan, the guy who designed Megara in Hercules, um, the Treasure Planet Captain Amelia, um, Jane in Tarzan. He's Duncan's studio now, does all the Kung Fu Panda intros. He commented on it. He told me that he thought they were nice drawings. And then on Facebook, I immediately got a comment from some guy who had the, this is the funny thing about people from my ethnic background, which is Indian. Indian. I'm Indian, but I guess you could say some people may think I have a Pakistani background. So Indian, Pakistani, whatever. I always seem to get a lot of haters and trolls from my own ethnic background. So this guy comments on, oh, you can't even flip the paper. It doesn't even look, all this and that. I burst out laughing. I burst out laughing because I said, there you have it. There you have perspective for you right there. So, anybody thinking of doing social media, don't take the comments too seriously, right? Don't allow them to get to you. I used to at some point. It's quite sometimes when you're at a low point, they can get through. But just it's all a bit of fun, right? We're all here. It's a big pantomime, and people like Juan who come in with his negative comments. He makes the pantomime more interesting. Don't the kids love saying to the evil witch, boo, hiss, when they go to the pantomime? It's fun. Thank you, Juan. Thank you for being part of making my live stream a lot of fun. Right, so I've got this cloak section that I put on here. I haven't really, I'm not going to animate the cloak off him at the moment. Then we've got the sleeve. So he's got his torn sleeve here like this, and he's got his garment here. And coming in here, he's got a belt. So again, the first drawing is going to be the one that he's got tears on his, he's wearing torn clothes, but I'm not going to draw the tears on at the moment. There's only so much I feel comfortable with doing on the demo to try and get through it all. So we have the belt, which will come along here like this. And then he's wearing something with some tears in it here like this. Actually, it comes a little higher. We're missing an opportunity there, so let's take that back slightly. Comes a little higher off there. Then we've got some tears in the pants that come off here like that. You see how much the costume really adds to the character? And it all really helps, right? When you kind of know anatomy and things like that to really make the drawings well, you know what? I don't really rate Chuck Jones that highly. So, you know, you can like his attitude, but he killed Tom and Jerry. That's one thing he did. I mean, sure, consider him a great, but sorry, I'm not gonna, oh, Chuck Jones said this about attitude. Big deal. I say this about attitude. I'm Arshad Mirzabeg, AMB. I love my work. There you go. Right, so we're gonna have this turning this way like that, and the back of the calf here like this. Then we're gonna turn this out here like that. It's another thing. Don't allow anybody to try and tell you you're not good enough and that you should worship other people. Because that's a trick a lot of people use to take your power away from you. Each and every one of you watching this stream, if you've got dreams and ambitions, the only believer they're counting on is you, right? So don't let anybody tell you that you're somehow inferior, or you don't have a right, or you don't have what it takes, right? Because such and such said this. I don't care what such and such said. I care what I think, right? And I think this is damn great. And I'm sharing it with you guys. All right. Now, let us do the next pose, which is going to be, let me do this in a straight ahead way. The pose to pose, the volume guy in me is now thinking, well, no, let me do the other step at the very least before. So I'm going to look for his other contact position, right? I know you, Juan, okay? I'm not mistaken about anything. I've deleted enough of your comments, right? Because I'm not gonna let you use my space. You can use it as a therapy session, but I'm not gonna let you use my space to voice your opinion, right? You create your own channel, you work hard yourself, and see if people are going to listen to you, all right? You're not going to get free, you can get therapy by calling me shit and typing that out. I'm not going to block you from my channel, but I know your name. I know what you're about. I know why you're on this stream, all right? So pretend all you like, but you can stay here. It's fun. As I said, boo, hiss. The wicked witch has come to the fairy godmother. I hope she saves Cinderella. Gorlos, my man, how you doing? Good to see you. Right, let me now lock down this guy's shape. So I'm going to get the head. Again, here you're going to see me maintaining volume of the head without the light box, right? So we've got an understanding of the eye. Like this. There we go. And the nose. All right. Another thing which I like to set as an example on my live stream is don't be afraid, right? of confrontation, right? If you encounter one of your trolls on stream, don't give him too much attention. Don't do any. Don't let the whole stream be about him, right? But don't be so afraid. Use it as a training of toughening your mental game up, right? Face them. Right? Tell them that you think that they're practically nothing, right? Because you know the truth, right? Then we've got the ear hair like this. So you see, I know the character's construction and structure, so I'm not worried about using my light box too much, right? So as he's turning his back to us, we may bring in a stripe hair like this also. Yep. So we need to think about this cloak element, but I'm gonna just do the back of the cloak first, right? 2, 3, bring that up. You see these 3 steps like that? We're gonna bring that through there like this. So now I've got the guy's costume worked out, right? Like this. And the sleeve, like this. You've got that there, right? So you see we're working out, we're building his structure. One thing I forgot was the stripes, right? So 1, 2, 1 in the middle there. Right, just like that. So we've got a stripe pattern sorted out on this guy too, like this. This is 1, 2, 1 in the middle here, like this. There we go. Checking the. How are we doing, Charlene Patchstones? Do you know exactly how many minutes or hours of the stream has passed? I can't see my phone, and my phone's what's on the tripod is filming all this, so it'll just be good to pace myself to know how long I got, how much battery I got, blah blah blah, as I'm doing this live stream. So it would be really nice to take you through all these poses if I can. Right, so this then is gonna turn this way around here like this. He has another bit of his belt, but I will treat that like the cloak. Right, so we have this here, like this. You see, one thing, the anatomy, the stripe goes around the anatomy of his fibula bone where the insertion of the tibia and the fibula comes. Then we have one horizontal stripe on the back of his leg there. Oh, I didn't color them in on the previous one. Never mind. So again, here would be the tibia side. Come here, and then we turn that out that way. So you see, no light box, right? But we're getting pretty solid volumes purely by just changing the angle of the paper. Right. Okay. Almost 1 hour 33 minutes has passed. Thank you very much, Aaron Manzer. I really appreciate that. I'm doing pretty good speed. I've got superimpose this down. All right, now let's do the passing position. Let's go ahead and do this the way we always do it. Let's go and do the passing position. So I'm gonna dab this back a little bit. Thank you, Charlene. Charlene's given me the exact time. All right. So again, it's mainly the head that we want to get right. So we fill in the shapes, right? But we fill in the shapes knowing them not to be flat, understanding the structure that goes into the skull. So it's almost like, you know, silhouette drawing, but when I fill it in, it's not like a naive child just filling in an outline, like drawing an outline. It's literally like, okay, well, every mark I make is bearing in mind, see the jawbone is here, that's where I put his little stripe design. That also helps me keep volume of the stripes in the character's design, right? So we fill that in like this. So again, we get volume in the head. The ear is this shape. We fill in the ear like that, right? So we get nice volume and action in the head. I have not used the light box once. Okay, let's think about the arcing of the back of this thing. You got to think about how the cloak is going to come around to the other side now. That'll really add some nice dimension onto the character. This, like that. Right. Yeah. Great. Looking good. Right, you see I'm speeding up now. The sleeve. Gonna focus on this side. So he's got a tear here and a tear here. You break it into sections. There's no real model for the tear, right? I've taken a leaf out of the Naruto when I did the breakdown of the Naruto fight scene. I like the way they just had these nice designery tears in their character, and as long as it looked good from scene to scene, they didn't really have to worry about whether there was an exact design for the tear, right? I'm going around the contours of the arm for the stripes, right? I wonder if Carlos is still online. Thank you, Renata, so much. Carlos, if you're still online, how's the book going, man? I haven't been able to catch your live streams. I've been a bit tied up. I'm planning a trip back to England to visit my mother. Right, so this goes up. We haven't really lifted the belt up too much, but it won't matter because we're going to be playing with the down, right? This goes here, like this. Oh, excellent. Right, so now the garment, we need to think about it coming off slightly, just wrapping around. He's got a tail, meaning the garment would be out more, but I'm not worried about that yet. I'm focusing on the garment around the legs at the moment. And if I was going to do another round, I would then redraw the garment to factor in the tail, right? So we have this. I'm just gonna keep his feet on the rough. Don't really care too much about how big or small they are. Just keep everything moving. Right. Carlos says I got busy too. Jack and I are planning on streaming next week. I'm working on my next short right now. Awesome. If you haven't already done so, go check out Carlos Gomez's efforts on his channel. Very informative stuff, particularly if you're interested in the technical side and the tools. But he's also now opened up to sharing his process of creating a kid's book. I'm loving those streams. All right, let's now do the other passing position. That's what we're looking for. The other passing position. We're fast getting through these. Only 4 drawings left to do, 5 including this one. But we're fast getting through these. You're getting an inside window as to what my life was like before computers. The only computers that I was doing back when I was animating like this was playing Shenmue on my Dreamcast. That's what, or Panzer Dragoon Saga on my Sega Saturn. That was the only computers that I was doing back then. Getting a insight as to what my life was like, the way I used to work. And I can tell you, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love animating like this. Right. Let's get that head going. Of course, those of you who like to cut the head out, you're missing an opportunity to train your hand-eye coordination, right? To get better at structure, to get better at understanding shape, simplification, and model, right? Just placing and tracing the head, you know. If the head's not doing much, yeah, I get it, right? But for me, I will always have those slight changes happening in my drawings, and I take the payoff of it feeling just that little bit more alive by sacrificing a little bit of the consistency, right? This is what comes with the medium, right? You gotta express yourself honestly, right? Particularly now, since we have not just 3D but 2D puppets, and 2D puppets are getting so insanely good now that they may as well just be 3D. So I'm celebrating the hand-drawn side of things. Here's a little bit out. Let's break that silhouette slightly. Yeah. Okay, now I need to work out the cloak on the way back, right? So we've got one. I'm thinking purely about the mountainous steps that occur, right? And the angle. See, I'm really pushing this swerve here to feel as if there's perspective and bending and folding going on in that cloak to give it that feel, right? Maybe I'll have time to add the cloak in with a bit of follow through, Right, so the sleeve comes here. Let's bring that back. Let's change the angle of that sleeve to help it come back. See how I use a triangle to help get the angle of my rounds, right? Then we just round it off. Let's flex the biceps, right? Just a little bit. Have some muscle flexion. See this guy move a bit more. Knuckles, 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 knuckles. Then we drag everything off the back side of it like that. Good. Perfect. Bring this through here. I'll keep glancing at the chat if anybody has a question while I'm drawing on top that I can talk about or take in. It'll be all good. Right. Okay, let's now think about the garment. We're going to curl that around, curl that under. Of course, there should be some give at the bottom. Little bit of pull on the garment there to help to sell the angle of the leg. Calf. I'm going to glance at the chat in a minute. I'm completely at one with my work at the moment. Right, so then this around here like that. So you see, particularly when you get to a supervisor level, right? And you're trying to do your own work, but then somebody comes to your desk with something they just don't understand, and you need to just block it out for them because they're not getting it. You've gotta be fast. When Legendary Dragoon, hell, I would even settle for a prequel. That is detailed work. I need you guys. I'm doing wire removal for my scene I shot. Wow, that sounds amazing, Carlos. So here's the main poses: the contact, the pass, the contact, the pass. Now we're going to throw in the downs and then the ups. So sorry to keep asking you guys to tell me the time, but it would be good if you told me how long I've been going for. I'm thinking it's almost the 2-hour mark now. Silver Sun asks, when creating a character, do you come up with the backstory? And I answered this in a previous stream, Silver Sun. Sometimes you come up with a drawing, but then it's always richer when you have a story to put behind the character. So it doesn't matter which one, but at each, sometimes you might have a drawing. Like I knew I wanted a tiger to fight the groundhopper. But now his backstory makes him so much more interesting, right? But I created him first, as you know, but his backstory just makes him so much more interesting. Right, let's go in here and throw the down position in. Yeah, my iPad. Hello, Joseph Emmanuel. My iPad's running low on battery, so I wonder what my iPhone's battery is like. Hopefully I can keep going because my iPhone's got the camera. I may have to turn on my laptop, and then that'll be a bit of a pain because I gotta walk. So I gotta work faster. Okay, let me quickly burn through this guy, right? I've kind of roughed out where I need everything to be. I'm going to try and get this done in the next 15 minutes, right? So, how long, sorry Charlene or whoever, Aaron, if you can let me know how long the stream's been going for, I'd really appreciate that. I'll look at, see if Joseph typed his question in a minute. Well, just taking some time out to get the head down quickly. All right. Changing the angle. Jawbone. Kind of missed that out. All right. There. Like that. And you got the back. See, that's his trapezius. That stripe comes over his trapezius. Okay. Now we want to think about the cloak bunching up here, coming down to the side. Low battery on the iPad. Sometimes I have problems coming up with poses. Do you always animate with pegs on the lower part? Always. Always. 1 hour, 15 minutes. Cheers, Aaron. Always animate with the pegs on the lower part because it gives me the flexibility to flip and roll. All right. Animating with pegs on the top. I know a lot of people like to see it. The Japanese like to do that, but in the anime stuff. But really, Richard Williams used to talk about that, but I really think it's very limiting. It's extremely limiting. I would never advocate. I don't know any of the 9 old men would ever do that. And for me, I don't care who at Warner's or who whatever or who at, if the 9 old men didn't do it, I'm not going to do it, right? Because for me, if you want to do something at an exceptionally high level, then you got to model yourself on the highest, right? And as I said, if you're concerned with just one drawing, then sure, put stuff on the top pegs. So if you like the way anime people draw, and you're more interested in how the drawings look on your animation, and that's what you're considering the best, then yeah. But if you're interested in getting your stuff to move as well as it can, it's extremely limiting. Extremely limiting. I would rather animate in software than animate with my pegs. When I say animate in software, like animate the way I do with Storyboard Pro and all that, then animate with dot pegs. Dot pegs are the biggest, let's say here and now. Too many people don't commit to anything. They're too worried about having a stance. I'm not worried about anything, right? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I learn, I move on, and I apologize, but not necessarily because, whose feelings it hurting, But for me, I'm going to come out and tell you my position, my stance. If somebody asks me, should I animate on top pegs, I'll say that's the worst thing you could ever do with your life when it comes to hand-drawn animation, right? Great question, Moy. Right, so here we'll put this out here like that. Maybe I won't get time to do the cloak. I'm not sure how much time I've got left. I've only got 7% on my iPad. I'm amazed by the stuff you give for free. Understand, as a struggling animator, I thank you from the bottom. My pleasure, Joseph Emmanuel. My absolute pleasure. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the craft of hand-drawn animation, right? To reach those who love it as dearly as I do, who live for it, who live to see it, who live to practice it, who truly wish to commit themselves to the realm of real animators. My pleasure, Joseph. Thank you so much for the comment. Saw you deleting your comments a few times. If you're worried about spelling or anything like that, don't worry, sir. My spelling and my grammar is atrocious. So, but I thank you for giving me such a nice comment. Right, I think my phone is going to last, but my iPad's going to die, so meaning I'm not going to be able to see the chat. But when it does die, I'll turn on the laptop and I'll occasionally get off my chair and look. I think my phone will go on for a bit longer. Alright, so now I'm going to do the other down. So we've got this. So let's look for we got 3 drawings left to do. What did Aaron say we were with the time? 1 hour 50 minutes. I reckon I'm almost there. This looks like the first tie down already. No, if I was going to tie this down, this is not a tie down, Igor. Thanks for questioning. If I was going to tie this down, I'll get some black pencil over it, right? That's what I'll do. But you kind of get to the level where, as I said, the more confident and the more skilled and able you get with your drawing and your animation ability, the more faster it happens, right? So, and then the cleaner everything looks, even from a rough stage, right? So the reason I think some people like what you're seeing here is, if I could say anything, is you're getting a closer glimpse of the real skill that I have, right? Because even though I feel comfortable animating in software, you see it all finished and colored when it's all finished and colored. But when I'm doing it live, I'm doing it with vector lines, and I'm not doing it with soft lines, because I find the soft Photoshop lines slow me down. They don't feel like pencil, right? I don't care how it looks. I want to get information across when I do my live streams, right? So when you watch me in those things, everything looks a bit really rough and harsh and scraggly, because it's the nature of the medium that I'm using, right? That's the vector line. I know I can quickly change the color of the line, but here you're seeing the soft pencil. You're seeing it building up. How clean it can look, how tied down it can look, because I have the range with the pressure and the pencil. For me, software still can never have this thing. I've played with the brushes in TV Paint. I've played with the brushes in Harmony. Photoshop, you can use all these, but it's slow. It's slow for me from an animator's perspective, to have to fiddle with layers, to have to, the brushes are never going to be as, like this pencil, just the way I hold it changes its whole identity of the mark that I make. So you see me using the side of the pencil to get that soft feel. Then the pressure that I'm drawing on now is not that hard. So I can very quickly, change it up if need be. So he's got actually a sleeve, which we don't see on that side of the arm, which I haven't really drawn in there, but that's all right. So for me, when you guys see me work like this, you're getting a glimpse of what I would say the realest of the real me, right? In terms of my work. Right, so let's think about the garment coming around his leg and going straight over the other leg, right? Let's have a few tears in that, few stretch marks. Then we've just got the 2 ups to do, but I don't think my iPad is going to last. There's only 5% battery. Why? The iPad is where I'm reading all your chat, so I'll have to get up, turn on my laptop. Then I'll end up I'm gonna just leave this kind of rough hair. Right, okay, so that's that down. Right, so we've only got the ups to do now. So we're kind of, and you've got the legs side of it. Dun, 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 dun. Right. So we've kind of got something like that at the moment. So let's work the ups. Let's do this up first. And it's going to go there. Two drawings left, people. 2 drawings left. How am I doing for time? Just so I can gauge if my phone is going to die or not. The way my room is positioned, I can't plug it in, which is even more. It creates a sense of a challenge to the stream somewhat. Right, this is interesting. These are tight. This is a lot tighter. Right. So let's get the shape of the eye. Let's get the eyebrow. Let's get the under section like that. Have that come in. So you get to see what it's like being a little bit tight without the light box, right? And I haven't even used the opacity of the paper, right? I've just done this with flipping. Flipping the paper, mate. Flipping the paper. Flipping it. Right, so you have that. And I'm rushing it a bit now because I know I can be a little bit rough with this for demo purposes. Right, coming through here. All right, let's sort the back of this out. Like that. Yeah. So that's the back of the cloak. Comes up like that. And the sleeve coming through here. Now that's an issue. We've got the sleeve inside the cloak there, which isn't very good, right? We could cheat it, but I don't want to cheat it. So on tying this thing down, I may, actually that's going to solve the problem, right? Then we bring that up, yeah, that's it. So that's the way we solve that. Bring this through here like that. 2% on the iPad. Are there many types of timing charts? Yes, but timing charts is just merely for an assistant or, you know, to help you work it out how to in between, right? I don't even think of a timing chart at the moment. I've got the timing in my head where I want to slow in and slow out, right? Main thing to understand, all a timing chart is a representation, Joseph, of the law of slowing in and slowing out, right? That's what a timing chart is. So school yourself in the law, and the time chart will suddenly start to make perfect sense to you. Where am I going to be slower with my frames? How close together are they going to be, right? Actually should be called a spacing chart, but timing and spacing often go hand in hand together, so it's called a timing chart because the space of the drawings cause the effect of the illusion of weight to make things move at certain speeds. Right, so this is one, we just have one drawing left to do, and then I might quickly roughen the cloak, right? But iPad is on 2% still. Wouldn't it be cool if I could get the last drawing done before the iPad dies, right? Right, so that's that one. So we have that, just one more left now. So let's get this. These where they need to be. You're gonna shoot it this live stream? No, I'm not gonna shoot it. You're gonna have to watch my channel. Maybe I will shoot. And I'm not really gonna, I'm not gonna in between it. I'm doing this purely as content, right? I may shoot it and take it into the machine and show you where I will in between it, right? And drag these images in as layers into Storyboard Pro. Just to build on this, but it's not going to be possible to shoot it on the live stream. My live stream setup for traditional drawing is very, very limited, Igor. I'm using my phone and my iPad to look at the chat. It's another reason why I stream with software, because it's just easier to record what I'm doing and to communicate with you guys, right? Otherwise, I have no intention of doing, when I get funding to make my projects, I have no intention of doing them on paper because it's quicker to do it via the software. But part of me is kind of tempted to say I'm going to make it I want to do it traditionally on paper, but it's just not economical, especially, if we're raising a budget. Budget's got to go into getting the efficiency of the production. If we're doing a crowdfunder, we can only raise so much, right? But I would love to do it on paper. Okay, right, so this, maybe in the future, as we grow, right? So this is going up and around here like this. 2, 3. You see how I introduce these elements of the cloak back to cycle back. 1% on the phone. Aaron has to go. Thank you, Aaron, for helping me out. Before he goes, maybe he can, but somebody let me know how long the stream's going on. Have I made the last drawing by the 2-hour mark? I think I've been beaten. It's probably 2 hours 15 or 2 hours 10. Something I'm imagining, right? We've got this, and this. 2 hours 10, not bad, not bad. You see, You see, again, look how my iPad's dead. The iPad's gone. Thank you, iPad. You served me well. I really need a new iPad. That's an old iPad. iPad Air or something like that. Since I got these phones, I don't really bother. I tried drawing on Procreate in a shop with iPad. It was awful. I don't know what people see in it. It's like, it was like a step down from the Cintiq. You know, I'm sure if I forced it, I'd be, why do people want to draw? Why do people who want to draw want to limit themselves? Like, seriously, as I've been getting back to paper, I feel so free, so unlimited. You know, you're limited if you want to show off on social media, I guess, in terms of look at all the color and look at, you know, look at that. But in terms of the actual drawings, man, I feel so free and unlimited. Like, to just sit here and do this stuff on paper. So this is gonna come in here like this, through here. Right, we almost made it in 2 hours, right? But what I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna not be able to talk to you guys as easily. I'm gonna turn my laptop on. And that way, I'm gonna watch the stream and see if I've got time to do the rest of this guy's cloak, right? So, yeah, that's working pretty good to me. From a spacing standpoint, his head goes down a little bit. That first frame, if I was tying it down, that first frame would be redone entirely because it's just too ugly compared to the others. Let's see if you can see. It's difficult to flip that. It's hard for you to see. It's again why I stream on software, so you can see me loop it. I'm gonna try and upload it as a cycle for you so you can see how it goes. What I'm gonna do first, bear with me, just let me check my phone. Okay, I am going to turn on my laptop so I can get you guys on. So just hang on, so I can just glance at the chat occasionally. The laptop's in a different section. Some of you who watch me on stream will know that you can see my drawing board in the background. Okay, so I can see my chat now. Let me just quickly see. Zentron's comment is the last 2 hours 10. Okay, Carlos Gomez is there. You have a level in your budget where you record the footage of making on paper and you release that as DVD. Yes, Carlos, yes. And you, my man, will be involved in that because I don't have a clue. All right. Let's quickly think about roughing in a straight ahead cloak. Okay. So I'm going to intuitively figure out this guy's cloak, right? More so than his tail. So his cloak is actually hair, gonna be hair, right? But then it's hidden behind his arm conveniently, right? So that kind of helps a little bit. But we're gonna drag it. Gonna drag it here like this. You see the side of the pencil technique? And it's going to come back on itself here. Like this. Oopsie, we forgot his foot markings there. So then what's going to happen is, as he's bringing his back to us, it's going to delay a bit. Yeah. It's got some tears in it, so we may want to play with the tears. It's early on. Right, so this comes out. That. Oh, nice. Yeah. So then comes here like this. Nice. Follow through, overlap, and drag. So now we're going to have it reverse the curve on itself. As it starts to swing back. The other way. Yeah, I can see that happening. Then it's going to be hidden behind his arm. Convenient and cool. Yeah. So, just to test the flow of that, let's just redo this one. Bring that would come back here. You see how I have to kind of piece the cycle together like this. And that one. Yeah, I'm comfortable building on that. Okay, I don't know if you can see what I've done. I'll try to show it to you guys. Come on. This is annoying when you start trying to register these in the pegs. All right. The cloak comes there, and I'll have to fix the down. Right, it comes across the body, continues across the body, and then comes back around to the side, delayed. Let's draw it in. Let's just draw it in. We're gonna start it here. I'm gonna kind of draw it kind of faintly here for you guys to see, but his arm is gonna be on top of it. Then I'm gonna have it come back on itself. That. Put his arm this. So we won't really see it much there, like that. What I might do is just shade this area in so you can see what we're doing. Right. This all works. Now we're going to start bringing it through. Just like that. What we got? Yeah, that's the drag. Let's just put these away. That's slowing me down doing that. Trying to speed it up, but it's slowing me down by doing that. Alright, let's see what we're doing now. Right, so we're gonna bring some of this cloak around. Like this. Now we're changing the angle of the curve as we're bringing this through. And I'm not so afraid of drawing over that other hand, right? I'm looking for good silhouette shapes with that cloak, which would need to be tied down nicer than what I got here. Right? Bum, bum, bum. Now we're gonna change this up slightly, right? So we see the angle here. In a way, you're gonna kind of be like a Bob Ross. Be brave, okay? Draw on top. Don't be too worried, right? Bring that back. You see his identity and his personality is coming through also in his garments. Right, so. And this is gonna come back. This. Really get the silhouette poses. You see the action on that cloak? You can really see it here now. You really see how that adds to it. Right. And this one will go all the way back. We don't really have to worry too much about the next one because it gets hidden, right? Like that. You can fill that in. All right. That's his cloak. So we got his cloak done. Down and dusted. Let's throw in his tail. Right, let me quickly see the chat. What are people saying? I see the creases on the paper from flipping. Should not be timid when flipping. No. I love DVD extras. I'm all way in. Listen, Carlos, when we get our crowdfunder going, I am gonna expect to hear from me. All right. Yeah. Oh, I flipped that for myself. I don't know if you guys got to see it. That's the problem. Trying to get this on the camera. You can't see the head because neither can I. I would then turn it over to see the head from the top, like that. Yeah. That was how I used to sit there for hours at my desk admiring my animation that way. All right, let's try and put something out of this tail. Right. We kind of roughed something in this way. I'm kind of asking a question by turning it that way. Okay, let's turn it that way. Let's see what we get. Let's bring the tail up. The tail's going to be going back on itself. Just one line, guys. That's all it is. One line. Alright. I'm going to go into bossing position. I'm going to bring it here. I'm thinking about it going forwards and backwards in perspective, right? So it's going this way. And it's going up. It's going to swerve and change direction. Reverse curve is being utilized now. Changing direction. Okay, we've changed direction there. We're gonna pick it up. It's fine to pick it up. That's good. Now it's going to go even higher. So it's coming towards us. Perfect. Yeah? So now it comes towards us like this. Ready to flip back around the other way. It goes back to that. It's good. Hopefully. It's always a pain when we want to get it to cycle back, right? So I'm gonna perfect. Not the best, but it'll do, right? Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at this tail. Yeah, that works. Right, I'm just going to straight ahead this tail. It's not going to be 100%. I'm coming to the end of the stream. Let's just go super fast and do what we do, right? So I'm going to create, I'm not going to put any stripes on it, right? I'm just going to do it like that. This is the solid bit. Think about it moving in dimension. Right. His garment will have to be adjusted to go where the tail's going, right? But I'm not worried about that at the moment. I may do that off stream for my own play. All of this is to familiarize myself with this guy because I'm going to be doing a great dialogue test with him, and it's going to be documented for the new archive that I'm building in the training library called the Pro Archive, right? So we're going to be looking at some serious acting animation that we're going to be doing with this guy, right? So we've got a bit of reverse curve happening on the tail there. So you can see that. Now, like a bouncing ball, it's going to bounce back up, right? This is again why we think of the bouncing ball. You also got to think about what his pelvis is doing. It's going to go higher here. A little too high looks to me. They're a little stiff as well. So it's okay. We can make it a little bit curved at this point. Take away the then that'll get it loose again as we bring it down from the up. Boom. Just like that. You never want it to be too flappy or too much, all right? Many beginners tend to do too much with their follow through and overlap. They kind of, okay, I need to bring this guy here so I can unify these frames. Right? Yeah, Charlene, don't worry about the folds in the paper, right? We want it to look nice on camera when it moves. Not necessarily. Okay, now we're gonna bring this in. So if I'd be tying this down, I'd be fixing the slight volume issues with this tail, right? So just to stress, this is not tie down animation, right? This is rough animation. It's taken me just over 2 hours to do this. So we have something like this. Probably best to look at it in order. But that's pretty much it, people. The rest of it, if I do any more to it, I'll touch it up to post as a short or something. There we go. There's a nice little bounce in the tail there. All right, so very quickly, we've got our contact pose, our down pose. Right. Let me just, our passing position, our up position, our contact position, right? And we have our down pose, our pass pose, and our up pose. And offhand, I would say 1, okay, 3, 5, 7, right? Maybe 9 here, 9, quick change up, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, Yeah, maybe 11, 13. Yeah, let's push it. 15, 19, right? 19 frames a step. I would have it super slow, right? So 21, 23, 25. 27, 29, 31, 33, 15 to 33, yeah, I would say 33. What's that? 9, 11, 13, 15. Let's do in the middle, 29, 31, 33, yeah. Then back, 35, 37. Oh, it's just like the standard walk, right? So, what would be back there? 15, 17, 19. So one frame, 33, 35, 37, yeah, 37. So yeah, it would be a 1.5 second cycle, 36 frames. That's roughly how I would time this cycle. Slow, 19 frames per step. But you see, we just have this many drawings. So again, when I talk about timeline and pulling and playing till it feels right, that's what I talk about, the law of timing, right? You gotta understand how it is. Now, what's going on in my head? Joseph asked me about timing charts. I'm only going to do the main timing chart. I'm not going to look at individual things, right? So 1, 3, 5, 7. Why 1 to 7 here? Because I want to spend around about 6 frames, right? 3, 5. I'll slow in, right, on a half. I want to spend around about 6 frames, which is 1/4 of a second, getting into this down, right? It's heavy guy, right? Now I want to come out of the down fairly quick, right? So this is all going to be on 1s, but I'm timing it on 2s. So I've got frame 8 to make it fluid, right? To stop it popping. But I'm just going to call that 9 because we're going to come out of it quick, right? And then we're going to slow into the up, like the slowing up of a bouncing ball, right? So we're going to go up here and go linear, right? So I say thirds, 11, 13, 15, just like that, right? Either one could be the breakdown, doesn't matter. You see, now I make everything a key because when I chart, it just makes it easy for the assistant, right? So then 15, 17, 19, that'll be a half, right? 17, 19, that'll be a half. So we're just giving us slowing into this position here, right? And then we go super slow. This is where we slow down into the down. 19. Again, we're going to half it. 21, 23, right? 25, right? So 25 is here. So we're around about just over the second mark here. Again, we're going to come out of it fast. 27. No in between, but a half on 1s, right? 27, the linear 29, 31, right? Either one, right? Doesn't matter. Then 33, because we're slowing into this up point, right? And slowing out of the hand, we would chart that hand differently because we don't want that hand to move back linearly, but I'm not going to do that right now, right? So 33 here like this, okay? Back to 35, back to 37, which is actually frame 1, which is that, right? So that's how that works. And just so you can get a look at the top half of the guy, right? Moving, we'll do something like that, right? And then I once again flip the bottom half for you. All there like that. So that's the paper way, right? I know this works. I know it works great. Maybe some of you are not used to looking at paper drawing flipping like that. You can't quite make it out. I understand that. Totally get that. But I've enjoyed sharing this stream with you. I'm going to quickly look at the comments to see if there's anything any question I can answer. This drawing is almost falling off. I'll hold that with me. Alex has gone. Thank you, Studio Anima. Thank you. You're loving the stream. Carlos is gone. Good night. Okay, creases on the paper. That's it. We're done. We are done. My camera has frozen. Low power mode. It says low power mode. The screen froze for a minute. Don't worry, I'm still here. It says low power mode. Which means that's about time. It's about time. Yeah, image froze, guys. I just got up to check the chat. It says low power mode. So just before I go, I don't know how much of it you saw or you missed. Okay, we were talking about the timing. Hopefully you got all of that. I'm not going to re-talk about that. It'll be a shame if you missed that. But I think we got to the point where we were looking at it in motion like that. And I took it up the pegs and I flipped it like this. Right, I'm trying to flip it for your eyes, so it's difficult. Right, normally I would hold it and flip it for myself, and I would enjoy it. But you can't see what I'm seeing right now, which is a shame. Difficult holding it at this angle. Right, so there you go. That is the traditional walk cycle roughed out for you guys. I would go and shoot it. To be honest, I wouldn't shoot it. I'd die it down because I know it works. And then I'd shoot it after doing some rough in-betweens. All right, gang. Thanks a lot for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure. I will see you all on my next live stream. Man, I love it. Batch Tunes is quickly saying something. What you saying, man? Once timing charts are made of paper, the animation is fully in between. If you aren't happy with the timing, can it be adjusted? Yeah, it can be adjusted. You redraw. You throw it away and redraw it. That's what you do. So again, Batch Tunes. That's why I'm saying, like, people think I talk harsh, but you guys really, we are living in the age of ignorance when it comes to timing for animation, because people just, self-trained people just pull and play on timelines and adjust things that it feels right. And it's sort of like burying shit under the rug until it starts to stink. If you really understand the law of timing, then you'll get to a level where things could be adjusted, things could be better, but your first pass when push comes to shove is acceptable, right? You could just take it better from there on in. All right, that's that. This guy is falling. I'm going to hold this drawing here. I will see you all on the next live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye. So that's what that smell is. See you guys. Bye.